Alright everybody, I am Andy and welcome back to my channel AP Entertainment. I am here with you a day late this week as I was down in Norfolk, Virginia for my buddy's wedding. So I had to record the Ravens Washington football team game and watch it last night. So I'm recording this on Monday, but I was able to watch the game in full. And man, let me just tell you, being able to watch a recorded game, just skipping through kickoffs and commercials, I watched that entire game in about an hour and 20 minutes. It was a smooth ride. As I'm watching, I'm like, you know what? My least favorite part about capitalism may be commercials during football games. That's how much of a difference watching the game without commercials was. Now, if you're new to my channel, I try to come on after every Ravens game to give my immediate, raw fan reaction. If you're looking for play-by-play breakdowns and analytics and all that stuff, this probably is not the channel for you. This is Monday Night Raw style. But if you want to hang out with me for the rest of the season, and I don't just talk Ravens, I talk about our opponents, and I give a weekly recap of other games as well. So if you want to join me for the rest of the season, subscribe to my channel, like the video. I'd really appreciate you guys. And I also have a National Parks History channel where I give tours at parks and whatnot. So if that type of stuff interests you, you can subscribe to that channel as well. I will link that in the description. Okay, Ravens, Washington football team. It was a big week here in Maryland for obvious reasons for you out-of-towners. I'll try a bit insight to kind of this unique. It's not a rivalry to me, but people call it a rivalry. It is called the Battle of the Beltways. A lot of people say Beltway. There are two Beltways. There is a circle around Baltimore. It is 695, and there is a circle around D.C. that goes through Maryland and Virginia. That is called the Capital Beltway, a.k.a. 495. It is the battle of the two Beltways connected by 95 and 295. So to all of the national announcers out there, and even some of you local guys mess this one up, it is not Battle of the Beltway. It is Battle of the Beltways. Now, why do I say this is not a rivalry? Well, first of all, we play once every 4 years. It's hard to say that that's a rivalry when the games usually do not have much playoff implications, and we just don't play each other that often. Every 4 years, these teams are very different. Another reason for me personally is I know a lot of Washington football team fans, and a lot of them are some of my best friends, including my father. So I like seeing them do well because of that. And also, Ravens fans root for the Capitals and Wizards. A lot of Redskins or Washington football team fans, whichever you prefer, root for the Orioles. So the fan bases kind of root for the same teams outside of football. So to me, it's not a rivalry. It's more of a again, it's a battle of the Beltways, little friendly competition, and whatnot. Now, like I said, I was at a wedding this weekend, so you might already be able to tell my voice is shot. It's a little better today than it was yesterday, but I have a very deep voice, and I was talking a lot this weekend, so I might have to wrap this one a little earlier than usual. Now we'll start with the pleasantries. Obviously, Washington fans, and you will never hear me say Washington Commanders. That'll be the only time this video. I have way too much respect for you guys to call them that just terrible name. The uniforms are a travesty. The whole name drama is a travesty. For me, it's Washington football team, and I might just say Redskins here or there out of habit just because I, again, am from Maryland, so that's just what I'm used to being called. But Washington Commanders, I said it a second time. That'll be the last time. So there's an explanation for that. You guys finally have adults in the room. Congratulations. Salisbury University legend, fellow Seagull, Dan Quinn is at the helm. And you can just tell a major difference in how this team is prepared and playing every week. Obviously, Jaden Daniels, the number 2 pick, has been very special so far. And he pretty much played how I expected him to. He's deadly accurate with the ball for a rookie. He has a pretty deep ball. I will say I really hope the Jaden Daniels Lamar comps and comparisons end after this game. If you just sit down and watch, they actually don't have the same play style. Jaden Daniels, in my opinion, is a lot more similar to. He's like a Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen hybrid. He's not. Hurts isn't as fast as Daniels. And Daniels, I think, probably tries to get out because of that. Tries to get out of the pocket and run a little more, use his feet when he has to. Lamar is truly one-on-one. The things Lamar does to get out of trouble, especially with our pass protection, and still get the ball downfield. He's gotten more and more accurate every season, and he can throw over. He's got the sidearm action. There's just no one else that plays like him. And I think the comparisons by the national media, especially Tony Romo yesterday, I really liked Tony Romo his first season, and there's just no denying it's gone downhill since then. When he said that there's 2 MVPs on the field today, Jaden just hasn't won his yet. I'm just like this. The poor kid's played 6 games. Can we let his career progress? Can we give him a chance before we put all these expectations on him? There's just no guarantee for any of these guys that the level of play they immediately come into the league with will be sustainable. I'm rooting for him. He definitely has all the tools, and I think he has a chance. But just to be saying statements and sureties, I don't think that's a word, but you guys know what I mean. This early is just, it's honestly very lazy from the national folks. Now, Washington fans, media, I understand the excitement. You guys haven't been up this much since the end of the RG3 season. Don't worry, I forget. You guys are about to blow the Seahawks out in that playoff game before that poor man RG3's knee snapped for like the 3rd time that season. So I understand you guys being excited. I heard PFT on a radio program say that, or no, maybe it was someone else during his interview say that this was the game of the year in the NFL so far. Okay. Maybe that's because Washington was hot but hadn't really played anyone yet, so they wanted to see how they stacked up. So to my friends, a lot of them predicted the Ravens to still win. Others, can't help themselves. They were excited. They thought they were going to roll into the bank and show the Ravens fans up. So that's why I got humble in the title. Sometimes we just got to remind people where they currently are. No bad blood, no ill will. It just is what it is. Now, yes, the Ravens only won by 7. This is a standard Ravens fan experience the last couple of seasons. One of my best friends who is a Washington fan texted me and said, you guys pretty much controlled the whole game. And I said, yes, we did. And we won by 7. I'll say that again. We controlled pretty much the entire game and won by 7. That is part of why I get very frustrated watching this team. Now we are 4-2, 2-0, since my wife worked her witchcraft and made the Cincinnati punter botch the snap last weekend on that game-winning field goal, which saved the Ravens season. Yes, I don't think we would have recovered from losing to Cincinnati last week, and instead we have won 4 straight, and we are on an upward trajectory. This is the most positive and excited I have been as a Ravens fan since we beat the Houston Texans last January. Back to Washington real quick before I give my thoughts on the Ravens' performance in a more specific manner. Man, am I jealous of you guys having Cliff Kingsbury as your OC. There was one drive in, I believe, the second quarter where you guys, you did back-to-back screens, one to the halfback, one to a receiver, but each one, there were like 4 different options or decoys on each play, and it was back-to-back, and I was just in awe. I had never seen either of those plays ever happen before in an NFL football game, and they happened back-to-back in the same game. I would trade Monken and a second-round pick to Washington right now for their offensive coordinator. So if you guys want more love and positivity for the rest of your season, I was very impressed with the play calling. Obviously, Eckler was really your only back yesterday. You got a lot of young receivers you're trying to work with outside of McLaurin. And look, that Ravens pass rush is good. From day one, my biggest positive of this team every week is our homegrown pass rush mixed with Kyle Van Noy, who is like better than he was in his prime with the Patriots. And he's out there playing with a broken face. We got Yannick Ngakoue, Maryland legend, back on the team. Bro wasn't even playing 2 weeks ago. He's out here playing majority of the snaps, just wreaking havoc. It's been a great thing to see. And still, with all that, you guys only lost by 7. You should be proud of the performance. There were a lot of Washington fans at the bank yesterday. I hope you guys had a good time. And I hope you guys enjoyed a stadium that isn't a rundown piece of shit. You guys definitely deserve better, so I hope you enjoyed watching a game in a nicer facility. And I'm looking forward to where that new Washington Stadium is going to go here in a couple years. Okay, on to the Ravens. I was very hard, as you guys know, on the offensive line to start the season. It was embarrassing. It was a train wreck. It was a travesty to go into this season with this much talent on offense, this much talent on defense, and to seemingly throw the season away because our offensive line was that bad. I am a fan, and I will never apologize for emotions or dramatic things that come out of my mouth because this is the fan experience. This is what it's all about. I'm judging this team on a week-by-week basis. And with that said, I have to give the coaching staff, who I'm very hard on, a lot of credit. Bringing the young kid, Rosengarten, back in, the rookie, has completely transformed this offensive line. In my opinion, it has saved the season. And I'm not really sure why he wasn't playing to start the season. If there was an injury that I don't know about that could explain it, let me know in the comments. But if they were just holding him out, like how the Patriots were holding out Drake May to try to, not just the Patriots, other teams do this with their rookie quarterbacks sometimes as well to try to let them get a feel for the league before they just throw them out there. It would be crazy to me if they were doing that with a right tackle, especially one that was drafted that high, if he's ready to play week 3 but not week 1. But he's been playing great. It has allowed the guys to shift back to where they need to be, where their best positions on the line are. And Ronnie Stanley, 6 weeks, still healthy. Ronnie Stanley is still one of the better left tackles in football when he's healthy. Now, he's never healthy, but he is right now. Scheme. Okay. First 2 weeks were absolutely embarrassing. Hard to watch. Almost unwatchable. And then against Dallas, we said, all right, we're just going to turn back the clock. We're just going to run the ball. And we dominated Dallas. We dominated Buffalo. It's like, okay. The offensive line can't pass protect, but we have found out a way for our offense to still be able to move the ball because they can run protect. And the Derrick Henry thing, I said a couple weeks ago, we're never going to use him in the old school Derrick Henry way. He's never going to get 25, 30 carries. Well, I said that because the head coach, John Harbaugh, said that. Obviously, things have changed because Derrick is getting that many carries every week. This week, he got 24. Last week, he only got 15, but that is understandable as that game against the Bengals ended up being pretty much a shootout. Against the Cowboys, he got 25, and against the Bills, he got 24. So that seems to be our sweet spot, 20 to 25 carries for Derrick Henry. And shout out to everyone that told me there's no tread left on those tires. He is washed. The man leads the league in rushing. And I love, just as a fan, I love when I can connect with a player. I love that he doesn't celebrate. Now, that's not from like an old man on my porch point of view. He's just like that about dominating. He doesn't care about anything else. He's just going to keep killing you. And instead of letting you know about it by talking shit, he's just going to get back in the huddle and do it again. Because he's going to be like, this is easy. I don't even need to talk about it. When he comes off the field, I can't even call it a jog. It's like a little, I don't know what to call it. A slow jog, I guess, because it's not a walk either. But he's like conserving his energy. He gets off the field mad slow. He just stands there, comes back in, scores a touchdown, gives the ball to the offensive lineman, gives some high fives, goes to the sideline. Derrick Henry is a beast, and it's still surreal that he's on our football team with Lamar. In a perfect world, I don't expect him to be able to get 25 carries a game still 4 years from now, but I would love it if we could just go year by year after this 2-year deal. Add another year onto that deal this offseason and just let him retire as a Raven. I would absolutely love that. Even if it's in a situation where, like, towards the end of his career, he's getting 10 or 12 carries a game, or he's just a goal line back. Like, he's already a fan favorite. He's a favorite in the locker room. He's a favorite of the coaching staff, and I would love for him to just end his career here. But despite another game over 100 yards for Derrick, the true story of this game was the Ravens air out offense in the first half. Now, the weakest part of Washington's team is their secondary, And that's why I was actually so happy to see this. I was very critical of our scheme to start the season. This shows that the coaching staff is attacking our opponent's weaknesses. We came out throwing the ball heavy, and then once we felt like the game was in control, we just did our thing on the ground. And then Washington really never had a chance to tie or take the lead because of that. Zay Flowers was breaking Ravens records, or top 5 receiving records of all time in the first half. Look, that's Zay. I mean, he is that talented. The way we were getting the ball in his hands, it kind of reminded me of Tavon Austin at West Virginia when I was growing up. There's been other examples of that. Percy Harvin at Florida. We were running those type of plays with Zay just to get the ball. Like, when a guy is that electric and that talented, you have to get ways to get him the ball. He needs touches. It's like a shooter in the NBA. There's no reason if you have an elite 3-point shooter, well, if he gets 4 shots a game, there's no point in having him. Like, you need him to get off 11, 12 threes a game for it to be worth it, for the percentages to work out. It's just like that with a guy like Zay in the NFL. You got to find ways to get the ball in his hand. Even if a play results in 2-3 yards, it exhausts the defense, it puts them on alert, and then the next thing you know, he's downfield making plays. Rashad Bateman has never really meshed with Lamar until there's been a couple instances the last couple of weeks. I felt like, in my memory, this is actually Rashad and Lamar's best game together, because while Zay was getting... Actually, Lamar didn't really have to make that many throws on the run this game. Rashad is a precision route runner. Lamar was hitting him at the exact right time as he was coming out of his breaks on numerous occasions yesterday. It was beautiful to see. At one point, back-to-back plays where Rashad Bateman first down catches. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the first time in his career that has happened. And then, of course, Mark Andrews has exploded out of the grave. It's good to know he's not dead. He's still alive, everybody. Now, again, I have not been hard on Mark for anything. I feel like he's still getting used to playing again every week after that really bad injury from that hip drop tackle last year. And talking about hip drop tackles, you guys know I don't complain about officiating, but I'm going to have to for this one. I believe it was Fowler, yes. That hip drop on Lamar from Fowler could have ended our season. And it was just a dirty tackle. It is what it is. Throw the flag, give us the 15, and we'll go on our merry day. The ref was right there. Not calling that is crazy. And even worse, not one Ravens offensive lineman came over to throw Fowler into the stands. That's a situation where getting the 15 yards to protect your quarterback is warranted, in my opinion. I could not believe that no one came over. From what I remember, the only thing that happened is Isaiah Likely was looking around like, what's going on? And then he kind of got in his face a little bit. But that was really disappointing to see. They redeemed themselves a little bit with that hit on the sideline in the fourth quarter coming down to the wire. But still, wasn't really the contact I was looking for. We need to protect our guys out here. So offensive line, I've been very, complimentary of your performance the last couple of weeks. This was by far your best performance of the year as a pass protection group. But when your quarterback almost gets his leg broke right in front of a ref and nothing happens, please make a statement next time. Thank you very much. So all in all, a very good performance from the Ravens this week. I don't think one thing other than the offensive line not doing anything about that hip drop tackle made me mad. It was a very nice viewing experience compared to the beginning of the season. And hey, we've won 4 straight. There's no reason why we can't win 5, 6, 7, 8 straight. Let's keep it rolling, boys. Now, before my voice goes out again, let's get to this very brief out-of-town report, and we will start with London and the disastrous Trevor Lawrence contract that just gets worse and worse every week. And the Bears, who are 4-2. Shout out Chicago fans. That is a rough fandom. And let me say this. I believe the line on, I think their over-under was 7.5. So 8 to hit. I texted my friend in the preseason. I said, can you believe all you have to do to win this bet is have Caleb Williams go 7-10 as a rookie? 7-10, not a terrible record. Still wins as an under. Now, luckily, I did not take it because it's looking like that over is probably going to hit. Props to the Bears. Jordan Love is back with the Packers, and they are looking good. The Cardinals also kind of a joke. I just don't think the Murray era is going to yield that many results for them. You guys already know, baby. It's part of the reason why the Ravens are back. Because Joe Flacco's back. He's out here airing it out again. Okay, 189 yards, so he wasn't exactly airing it out. But he led another victory. And, ooh, Will Levis. It just gets worse every week. He might need to get back with his ex-girlfriend or something, man. Because, it just, 95 yards. Actually, she probably wouldn't take him back, throwing for 95 yards. So, we'll just move on from there. Come on, Internet. Where are we going next? Texans fighting for that 2 seed. They're like, we're not just going to let the Ravens take this. Bucks, our opponent next week, got back on the right track. Laid a 50-piece nugget down there in Nolans. The Eagles, I know fans are not happy. And I'm sure they're not happy beating the Browns 20-16. But as I had to accept earlier in the season, a win is a win. You just hope to play better next week. The Browns and Deshaun Watson are absolutely terrible. Shout out to them for not keeping Joe Flacco. Pretty much eliminated a possible division threat because that defense used to be damn near elite. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Chargers, Broncos, that game's so boring. I'm not even going to talk about it. Chargers win. The Steelers somehow dropped 32 points. Oh, wait. It's because it was against the Raiders. Who did the Raiders beat in week 2? It was an impressive win on the road. Oh, that's right. It was the Ravens. Possibly the most embarrassing loss of the NFL season. I hate that I have to bring it up every week. But I think with a few more wins, I'll be able to officially flush it out of my memory. The Cowboys. Wow. I remember ESPN did a feature years back of season ticket holders in Mexico who would take charter buses up to Dallas for home games. I feel like it was like a 6 to 8 hour drive one way. So they'd get up early, butt crack of dawn, take a bus all the way up to Dallas, watch the game, and then go home. Imagine being those people. Taking that bus every week or every other week for these Cowboys home performances this year. 47-9? Detroit's good. Ain't nobody that good. Woo! The Kirk Cousins Falcons. Oh, wow. The Panthers actually suck. The same Panthers who also beat the Raiders. And then the Bengals. I buried them. I did their fans a service and just went ahead and put them out of their misery last week. And I don't think beating the Giants 17-7 changes that any. So that is your AP Entertainment Out of Town report. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me again this week. Again, sorry to be a day late, but duty calls. Monday night again next week. This is the negative of being the 1 seed last year and having all these big division winner games. There's a lot of different schedules. Like playing on 1 o'clock on a Sunday is a rarity, and when it does happen, sometimes you can't even watch. But Monday night again next week. Oh, I guess it's our first Monday night game of the year actually. Night game again next week down in Tampa, where we've had a lot of success over the years. And will I be on Tuesday? Well, I'll see you on Tuesday or late Monday night, probably past midnight here in Maryland. We'll just have to wait and see. I can't call it yet. So again, good game, Washington football team, Redskins fans. You guys definitely have a lot to look forward to. And again, it's very impressive what Dan Quinn has done to turn around that locker room and that coaching staff and just in general the quality of the product in such a short amount of time. Wish you guys the best moving forward in the rest of the season. And you guys made us you made us scheme. You made us really prepare. And if we weren't so aggressive with the passing game, which is uncharacteristic for us in the first half, attacking that weakness, and we just ran the ball from the jump, you guys may have been able to win that game. But we just came out with too much firepower, and in classic Ravens fashion. Before the last couple of years, once we get up, it's usually a sealed deal. Now our secondary, you know what? I'm not going to do a secondary rant this week. Let's just say fourth quarter leads are never safe anymore. So I was glad to see that we were able to hold on. I want to thank you guys again for joining me. Hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time.